Welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella, Mayor for the City of Leominster, and thanks for joining us this afternoon. Well, we're live this afternoon, and boy, that sun came out, and what a difference it made today. It shrunk the snow down a little bit of melting. A beautiful day it was, and we have guests today, so no messing around. We're going to head right over as we beam out to North Leominster and zero in on Art, the famous Art from the Art Report.
Who would want to be me, right?
You'll be golfing pretty soon.
I can't wait. I'm ready. 62 years ago yesterday, we lost Big Bopper and Buddy Holly and Richie Valens.
Was that? Yeah, huh?
And if it wasn't, Waylon Jennings was supposed to take the flight. He flipped the coin and lost, and the Big Bopper took his ride.
Wow.
And Tommy Aslip, who was a guitar player for Buddy Holly, flipped the coin with Richie Valens, and Valens won the toss, and Valens cost him his life. So that's
Imagine
crazy
that.
stuff.
That's crazy. You never know, right? Like they say, you never know.
No, there's such a lot of truth to that. And yesterday we got our flu shots.
You did?
Yes, we did.
Good.
Leominster Hospital.
Good.
Extremely organized.
Good.
Very friendly. Very professional.
Did they call you? Did your doctor's office call you?
Yes, we called the doctor's office from frustration of not being able to get on the governor's I didn't do it list. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't get through on the computer. I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning on purpose, thinking I would be very busy.
Yeah.
Never got through.
Yep.
So Rita said, you know what? She called up our doctor, the nurse. We've been going there since dirt. The nurse says, I'll call you folks back. Within 15 minutes, she calls back and says, here's the date, 8 o'clock in the morning. Don't be early. You're all set. So the doctor's office booked us into the hospital to get the shot.
Wow, wonderful.
And they were free. And it was like it was so cool. It was like a family reunion. Here comes Rita's aunt and the uncle and this one and that one. And, oh yeah, the goodbyes were longer than the visit.
Of course.
Which is typical, right?
I know all about that.
Yeah, I know you do. It's amazing. It's really amazing. But I'll tell you, we went in and our appointment was she was for 8, I was for 8:15. We stood in line in the hallway. Rita went in at 8. They brought me up, took some information from me. I sat down. She sat down. Bang, got the shot. They said, go over there and have a seat for 15 minutes. There's water. There's also snacks. And Rita worked the crowd as usual. And we got up and come home.
Wow.
And we go back. They already booked us, the people that gave us the shots, a month from yesterday to go for our last shot.
Wow. Nice.
Same time, same place.
Good for you.
Very well organized.
Good for you.
Yeah. And thanks for all the work you've done on it. Only the good blind side. I think it's ridiculous that they don't have them all opened up.
Yeah, we're all set to go. We waiting actually tonight. I'll be on a conference call second I leave here, and we're working with a company called MassCon, and but they're limited as to how much vaccines they can get. But we're hoping to get them up here next week and start on the next wave of 75 plus. So Reliance giving them out. I understand they've been calling their patients. Health Alliance, and so there's a couple of different sources. So we're really trying to increase the amount of vaccines that come to Leominster.
Yeah, the stuff they gave us was the stuff they don't have to freeze, and whatever that means. And I know what it means. But again, hats off to them and the nurses and everybody up there.
Good. No, let me tell you, it's been a tough year for them.
Oh, it sure has.
Tough year.
Their profession, you better believe it.
Yep.
Better believe it. Well, thanks again to everybody. I hope you enjoyed the snow and the sliding and the cocoa.
Yes, we had a ball that just went by. There must be 100 kids up there. There's probably 18 inches of hard packed snow at this point from driving over it, which makes your sled go faster.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's pretty interesting. I tell them all the time, kids, if you could apply that to math, we'd be all set.
It's the nice thing about it is it's a throwback of something that hasn't gone away, or it almost got away,
Yes.
but you brought it up. I mean, I can remember growing up in the car barn, Nickel Street. If we had 2 inches of snow, you had to wait in line to slide down Nickel Street.
Right.
You know, so it's good to take it out,
Sure.
burn some energy like that.
And it's
My
like
grandson went with his father plowing. He works at controls.
Yeah.
That's another lot of fun thing to do, you know.
Well, you know, kids, adults, different story. Kids, leave them in the playground, take them sliding, let them play basketball. They all get along just fine. They all get along just fine.
Yep.
Get us parents involved, and man, it all goes downhill from there.
If it's Yo, don't do that. Look out, be careful.
Yeah.
You know, I never saw a parent when I was coming down Nickel Street. We used to hook up a train, about 20 sleds.
Right.
We'd come flying down there. Kids would be tumbling. The sleds would be tumbling.
Well,
if you
should
went home with red cheeks and cocoa.
You should see him.
Get better immediately.
Last night we played him a little music.
Yep.
Had some hot chocolate, and it got to be after 8 o'clock. We were still there, and finally, I think kids had to go to school this morning, so they were kind of forced to go home. But they'll sleep well. The reports all in are they all slept well.
That's good. Okay, buddy.
All
I'll see
right,
you
Art.
next week.
That was Art from the Art Report. Good news coming from from that corner of Leominster that beginning to get some flu shots to those in need. Remember, 75 phase 2 that started the other day. Those 75 years and older, and then the next wave will be 65 and older, and with 2 or more comorbidities. And then it'll be teachers and those in the education field, and then it'll work its all the way down to us. We're going to take a short break, and we're coming back. We are on this beautiful, beautiful February afternoon. And if you'll note that the days are getting longer and the nights shorter. This morning, almost 6 o'clock, it was bright, and that was without the sun coming up. And now with it's be after 5 o'clock tonight, and the sun will still be up. We'll be right back here at Inside Leominster.
We're still waiting for
The whistle.
Woo! I can't.
Harry, ladies and gentlemen, flamingo holics around the world, the great colorful residents of Leominster. It is Featherstone Flamingo Day. And this is a very special day for many of us, well, for a whole lot of reasons, but especially today when we find out just how many more weeks of winter. Now, we all heard about the Putzigar rat up in Pennsylvania.
It's a marmot. It's a marmot.
And we have
What is it, Kim?
A marmot.
who are from there, but we're hardy around here, New Englanders, and flamingo holics are tough. And we didn't have to cancel our event like they did in Pennsylvania. They had to cancel the event. So we have hundreds upon thousands of people here today, but they're all socially distanced, as we do every year.
Should we spread out?
So, on behalf of our new Flamingo holic, Robert Gill, we're going to play the Flamingo Song. Are you ready? This just came out the other day. It's already gone viral, and here we go. We're going to play it. Hopefully.
Hello, everybody. Rob Gale here from Leominster, Mass. As most of you are well aware, February 2nd is National Groundhog.
Ronnie taking pictures of my legs. Ronnie, I'm going to have to take him down to HR. Mr. Carl. Huh? Ronnie, what were you thinking?
Well, what was I thinking?
Yeah, I mean, you weren't supposed to do that.
I just thought, it'd be pretty cool to take a picture of you and your little skivvy shorts.
Those weren't skivvies. Those were like shorts, like pants.
Well, as I lose more weight, next year I'm going to get a pair like that. I'll be standing there next to you.
All right, well, okay. All right, Ronnie. And we had fun out there that day. And it was Groundhog Day, but here in the city of Leominster, the birthplace of the Pink Flamingo, Robbie Cormier, Robert Salvatore, Buckskin Sam, Johnny Appleseed, and many, many others. We had fun out there. As I said, we had thousands out there, socially distanced. They were at home, right, Ronnie? We had a nice crowd, though. Fun people. And Geoffrins were there, Maria, Sean, Tommy, and we had fun. The Fenwicks were there. Oh, geez, we had fun that day, right? And we'll, maybe later on we'll play that song. Do we have it queued up back there? The Flamingo Song by Robert Gale. Just out. It's gone national.
Oh.
International. It's gone around the world. Anyway, our good friend Jessica Carter is here. And it's so good to see you.
Likewise.
I feel so much better now.
Me too,
People,
actually.
like relationships, people that, and we lost all that. It seemed like it's been so long. We talked on the phone a little bit. And, checking in. And she's from the We Love You Foundation. And we'll get into a little bit of the details on that in just a couple seconds. But yeah, we missed you.
Likewise.
And
Likewise.
it's just not the same.
I know.
With
I know.
all your excitement and everybody, just fun group.
It's there.
So go ahead, explain about, I mean, you guys have been on many times, but explain sort of the We Love You Foundation, how this all came about. And then we'll talk about
Of course.
how magical the members are, because
I think it started, I think I met you for the first time when we did the cleanup in the park.
yes, about 100 degrees.
Yeah. And then I think it rained previously.
It
so, but that was super fun. That was my first time with a wood chipper, actually throwing wood
That's
into
right.
So that was pretty fun. I think a lot of our volunteers had a lot of fun. So that's kind of what we do.
If you call fun about 100 degrees, everything's soaking wet.
We have a wood chipper though.
I know, they loved it. And then went over to the sprinklers, right? Over to the water park.
And then we had some pizza, thanks
That's
to
right.
you guys. So that was pretty good. So we had a lot of fun. I think the last time too, we you were talking about the canoe launch.
Pool launch down at the end of Lancaster Street. The old, we call it there the Babe Ruth field.
Yes.
You guys cleaned out that. Nobody's seen that road. There's actually a road that used to go through there. Nobody's seen that road in at least 30 years. And it was all clear cut.
Yeah.
You spent the day down there clear cutting. Another hot day.
Yeah, I don't know why we like
I
hot days.
don't know.
It's good.
So let's explain a little bit for anybody that might be watching that maybe never caught us on here before.
Okay.
A little bit about how this all came about, because this is international. We Love You.
Yeah, so the International We Love You Foundation, we're in over 60 countries. We now have over 300,000 volunteers all over the world. We do a lot of environmental protection and cleanups through our Clean World movement. Now we're doing a lot of education, getting into some health initiatives. That's pretty much why I'm here today, because of the COVID-19 situation. We've been very creative, thanks to the chairwoman and her passion and her creativity to try to figure out how we can best help our communities. Last year, we actually donated 120 Chromebooks, laptops, webcams,
Awesome.
to students right around the corner in New England, in Hartford, Connecticut, which actually has, and I didn't know this, one of the largest achievement gaps in the country.
And that's really, so like what you did in Haiti with the little solar lights. You
Yes.
really want to get into those places that help doesn't seem to make its way.
Right, right. And then also too, there was a lot of flooding last year in the South. So we did help some of the trees there in North Carolina, where we actually helped to kind of vamp that area and to bring it back to life. So now what we're trying to do is that we have a blood drive taking place in Boston with partnership with Brigham and Women's Hospital, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And we did not know this, but around 50,000 blood donations that were supposed to happen in 2020 never happened.
Right.
They got canceled because of COVID-19. And so our chairwoman's Uncle Josh, she saw that. And she's very passionate about, blood donation transparency. She had a huge forum back in both 2018 and 19 about how we can make it a little bit better to get blood to those who need it. And so now that through this pandemic, we're trying to figure out, okay, how can we have the greatest impact? And I
Right.
think a lot of people not realizing, what we were dealing with, because it was unprecedented. I know we hear that adjective a lot.
Different,
Right,
unprecedented.
very different.
Wear your mask.
Right.
Socially
right.
distanced. All those
Correct.
words I want out of the dictionary after that. One by one. Now they always
Yeah.
add words. I'm going to
Yeah.
start deleting words.
Yeah. Well, slowly but surely, as we get back to our new normal. And so now what we want to do, we're doing a national blood drive, so it's not just in Boston. They kicked it off in the West Coast, had a huge event in LA, and now they're bringing it back here to the East Coast, so it's now our turn to wave the wand and donate blood to those who are in need. So we come on here today because we want to encourage a lot of people in Leominster and in Massachusetts to get out and donate at their local centers, or if they can, come to Boston. And we know that the center in Boston, the blood directly goes to the hospital there, just because of the things that they
There's
do
a lot of
there.
people that go through there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people from here that go there right now.
Yeah. So if they can just,
If not there, somewhere. Right. So
Right.
we'll try to get information, or maybe a guest next week from the Red Cross to find out if there are blood drives. And I haven't heard of or seen any that they've
Yeah.
let us know. Usually they do.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard or seen any. I'm sure they are still giving blood or taking blood.
They are. And I don't think on the scale that the International We Love You Foundation is doing right now. I think we're kind of spearheading, from what I'm hearing.
That's amazing.
Trying to just get people out there. I know people want to help, they just don't know where. And so, we have our frontline healthcare workers who are doing their best to just try to keep us alive. And so this is something that we can do as contributors in our communities by donating blood, here, especially at the BWH, Brigham and Women's Hospital, where a lot of people, as you stated, even from Leominster,
From everywhere.
have to come. It's one of the nation's top hospitals,
That's
so
right.
it makes sense that we get a lot of traffic from all over
Wow.
the nation. So
What a great project.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to join up or find out more about We Love You Too Foundation, We Love You Foundation, right?
Yes.
But if they wanted to find out more, they could go to the website. You have a
Yes.
really cool Facebook.
Yes,
And
thank you.
and I was saying there's something special about volunteers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we do.
you do?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
thank
cool.
you.
Let's show it.
Thank
Look
you.
at promo video and everything.
We're trying.
You guys are good, huh? They come with their own promotional
Every
video.
2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood, and the pandemic has strained our nation's blood supply. Blood donations are needed now more than ever to save lives. To help address this need, the International We Love You Foundation is hosting blood drives across the nation. Please join We Love You on Sunday, February 21st at Brigham and Women's Hospital from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. to help save lives. Visit WeLoveYouUSA.org for more information. Donate blood to donate love.
Look at that, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Promotional videos.
Yeah.
Hey, where's my buddy today?
Who, Ricky?
Yeah.
He's working, I think.
He's working.
Yeah.
Is he going to call in or anything?
I don't know.
Do you know his phone number?
I do, actually. We should call him later.
Yeah, well, you got to give him a call. I'm going to be
Will
on a
do.
conference call at 5, but if you leave me his phone number, I'll give him a call.
No problem.
It's
I'll
not
do
the
that.
same. We need,
I know, the whole group.
It's-
Maybe when we get back to this, now we have to do the spacing, so.
Anybody has any questions, 978-534-1626. We Love You Foundation is really based on a mother's love.
Yes.
And I think about it all the time, and I'm thinking, like, even the deepest of dark secrets and things that somebody might do wrong and end up in court, and who do you always see there?
Their mother.
Mom.
Yeah.
No matter what, mom's there. There's something special about a mother's love, and that's really how this all came about, right?
Yes.
It's incredible.
Yeah, because our chairwoman, Zango Josh, she really put that in the core of all of the volunteers. So it's more of like a selfless love. Mothers, they just give. They don't expect anything in
Of course
return.
not. Mothers eat
Yeah.
after everybody else.
It's true.
If they eat at all.
Yeah.
Right? Mothers up all night long. There is something very special
Yeah.
about a mother's love. And so how interesting how this thing's gone to 300-something thousand
Yes.
members
Yes.
across the country and always looking for more.
Yes.
And I'll say this. When I first met the first group exercise, I thought, I know these people, right?
Yeah, I feel like kind of like family.
I know them. I can't place it, but I know them. And it's something special about everybody. It rubs off on everybody, and it's one of the groups that you never have to feel that I'm going to go to an event and I won't know anybody. No,
Right.
you're going to go and think you know everybody.
Right.
You're going to spend the rest of the day trying to figure
We'll
out
introduce
how.
ourselves.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Everybody's so friendly about it.
Right.
But I'd really like to see more and more people from this area join up, and people are always looking for a way to give back. And this is a wonderful organization. And how many years? I mean, we've known each other now for quite a few years.
Yeah, I
4 or
think
5
3 or
years
4.
or something.
Yeah. Going on
Amazing.
4. This is our 4th year.
It's our 4th year.
Yeah.
So hopefully things get back to somewhat regular. I don't want to use the word normal, but regular, and we can start doing projects again. I know we brainstormed a little bit about it, but I was happy to hear that you were able to impact an area that was really in need of Chromebooks. And oftentimes, like everything else, it's hard to get internet to the people that need it. It's
Yeah.
hard to get a whole lot of things to the people that need it. The virus, for instance, as we look around, very difficult to try to get it to the areas that it really is needed in.
Right.
And that's really, for some reason, we've been practicing getting help to the people that really need it for a lot of years. We just can't seem to get it right. You know?
Because it takes some practice and coordination.
It does,
but
I guess. And so hopefully we have a vaccine hotline set up, 978-534-7500, extension 5. And we just keep taking information from wherever we can get it. Today, both at Fenway Park and at Gillette, there were openings.
Yeah.
You could actually go down and get your vaccine if you were 75 and old. But who's going to hop in the car and drive all the way down there?
Yeah.
And by the time you get there, well, you have to register anyway. But we put that out there. People are like, well, why are you telling me that? I live here. And like, I can't get down here. Well, because we said, we're going to, as anything we find out, we're going to put it up there for you. We're going to let you know what's going on.
Makes sense. It
So,
makes sense. Makes us
anyway.
all connected in that kind of way.
Sure, you never know, right? Somebody might
Right.
be close by or, visiting somebody in the town next door and like,
Right.
yeah, I'll log on, I'll punch my name in, and I'll go and get the vaccine.
Right.
So you've been well?
Yes, thankfully.
Your family's been well?
Yes,
Good.
thankfully. How about yourself? Your
Everybody's
family's
good. Everybody's good.
Yeah.
It's just tough, we're getting to that. You see there's still people, dying from this.
Yeah.
And we're so close to the vaccine, and you think if we could just get it to them,
Yeah.
ASAP. you
Yeah,
know?
well, they're doing their best. I know,
Yeah.
I see the logistics may be an issue, but they're doing their best. And
Yeah, they
we're
are.
hopeful
No,
for
it's
them.
just
So.
tough, especially if you're older and
Yeah.
people are very anxious. They're like, I made it this far, and I'd really like to get, because it's a 2-shot process right now, and
Yeah.
other vaccines that are coming that are 1 shot. Well, it's great to see you.
Likewise. We'll
And,
just let everyone know that
yes.
for the blood donation, we're doing everything pretty safe. So just register online similarly for the vaccine.
Yep.
We ask everybody to make an appointment so that they can just
So
get
they,
in, get out.
they go right to your website? and they
Yes,
can log on there?
weloveyouusa.org. They can log in, click Boston.
That's easy.
Yeah, and just register, and you can just pick a time.
That's good.
So it's
Thank you.
really
And
easy.
I'm glad you came out.
Likewise.
It was a good
It's good to
visit.
see you.
I hope hope to get to see. Ricky's like you.
Yeah.
You guys got smiles like this. Always happy. Always in a
Thank
good
you.
mood.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, good to see you.
Likewise.
And Happy New Year, by the way.
Yeah, 2021.
I know.
Wow.
It's, who knows?
I know.
I've just learned, don't make plans, right? Don't make plans.
Makes it kind of exciting in a way.
It does. Well, let's get around the corner here, and then we'll see how people celebrate once
Right.
we get through this. And for a lot of families, there's no celebration because they lost a family member, or somebody got real sick from it.
True.
And they're just trying to get through it all. But we will.
Yeah,
And
together.
that's-
in
Together.
unity. With love.
With mother's love.
Of course.
Right? None other. Right? All right. We're taking a short break. Good to see you again.
Nice to see
And
you.
we'll take another short break, and then we're coming back. And we have Chief Kennedy and Lieutenant Fraher from the Leominster Police Department. We're going to be talking about the police reform package and law that took effect, and try to melt it all down for you and give it back to you in understandable ways so that even you can understand what's going on. So it gets confusing sometimes. You get little blurbs from newspapers and a little bit here and there, but they're going to boil it all down for you so you can understand it. Taking a short break. We'll be right back. 978. I need my glasses to see it, Kyle. Letters got to be a little big. 978-534-1626. That's 978-534-1626. That's our phone number here. Taking a break.
Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood, and the pandemic has strained our nation's blood supply. Blood donations are needed now more than ever to save lives. To help address this need, the International We Love You Foundation is hosting blood drives across the nation. Please join We Love You on Sunday, February 21st at Brigham and Women's Hospital from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. to help save lives. Visit WeLoveYouUSA.org for more information. Donate blood to donate love.
Inside Leominster 978-534-1626. And just so you know, Carewell Urgent Center, 380 John Fitch Highway in Fitchburg. Vaccines for eligible people. They'll take your call if you call them at 978-696-3547. And we'll leave this with Carl so he can post it. They take calls to get on a waiting list. And when you're up, then they'll give you a buzz and schedule you a time. So that's a Carewell Urgent Care Center, 380 John Fitch Highway. And you call this number. I'll read it slow. Run over and get a pen. 978, you should be in the kitchen by now. 696, you should have found the pen by now. 3547. And you're going to say, what were the last four numbers? 978-696-3547. One more time. 978. I know what it's like to try to write something down and like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, the pen won't work, right? Never works when you need it to work. 978-696-3547, and that's Carewell Urgent Care Center, 380 John Fitch Highway in Fitchburg. All right, welcome to the show. My guest tonight on our second half of our second segment is Chief Kennedy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And John Fraher, Lieutenant for the Police Department. And I've wanted you on for a little while just so we can make some sense of this. And we talk a lot about the police reform package. And it's lengthy, and we talked about it early on. We're like, yeah, we'll read through this. But most aren't going to spend time reading through all this. And what does it all mean? What's it mean to our community? Obviously, it came with no funding.
Nope.
And maybe that'll change down the road when enough police departments, I've talked to enough chiefs and people in police departments across the state that'll say the same thing. Well, it's fine, they did that, but they didn't give us any funding. So I think that may make its way to the legislature to say, yeah, we passed this, but we didn't pass any money. Yeah. And funding is key to this thing.
Definitely key.
Now, I think we all agree, just so that the disclaimer here is, there are some really good things in this bill that was passed, and there are some things that are just, you just kind of scratch your head. But we're not here to debate all that. We're just here to tell you what's in it, and then so the public can understand it, right? I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah. And so it was just passed.
Yes. Yep. December 1st. December 31st.
31st. Yep.
It was the Acts of 2020, Chapter 253.
Right. And so, what's it all mean? I mean, for the general public that are understanding, they're like, hey, that's Boston or Foxborough or Wilmington. We live in Leominster. What's it mean to us?
Well, a lot of standards came down in it that we now have to apply to, which our training, we don't get trained in chokeholds. We get trained in all the things that they want in this policy, but we don't do chokeholds. We do de-escalation already, but they want it in writing. They wanted our training to be better, to get more training in hours. We have like 32 to 40 hours, but they pretty much doubled it, covering very sensitive areas that they wanted us to cover with applied bias training, de-escalation, different
now let's
types
talk
of updates.
about escalation, de-escalation. It starts off with just a verbal kind of situation, maybe a verbal command, could you take your hands out of your pocket? Mm-hmm. And we'll talk a little bit about, and I get asked this all the time, what should I be teaching my kids about when they get stopped? They get their license, nobody ever kind of really runs down through it. We'll talk about that before we leave tonight. But so escalation is, situation, you get a call, you go somewhere, could you take your hands out of your pocket? Maybe the person becomes unruly, but it's still not an arrestable offense. And it just goes up. And then at some point, you have to effect an arrest. And you start off with maybe, can you put your hands behind your back? And escalation means you don't go right from, hello, how are you tonight, to a stun gun.
Yeah,
right.
That's
right. So it's, and that's what. But the training's been that way forever.
Yes.
Yes, it has.
Long time.
And so, what's changed in that?
Well, the bottom line is they just want it documented in policies. All our training, I mean, I'm 26 years ago, he's been 15 years ago in training. The training hasn't changed. We are trained to de-escalate situations by speaking softer, approaching for taking time to wait people out. The whole running in and tasing people, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
you end up paying for it at the end.
Yeah, you end up rolling around
Yeah,
somebody's front lawn or in the middle of the kitchen where it's not safe anyway.
It's not. But the problem is, we're Leominster. We got a good department. We have great residents. I mean, once in a while we have a problem, but we have to do different levels of use of force. But we start off low, and we meet it where we need to. But now that they just want us to all this policies that we have to adopt going forward, that everything has to be a policy, and we have to go step by step and do what we're already doing anyways.
So let's talk about a new recruit. We're going to be putting another class into the academy
Two of
soon,
them.
hopefully. That officer will go 22 weeks? Well, I don't mean under COVID situations. I mean in normal circumstances.
So it depends on the academy right now, 22 to 26. I think some of the subjects are kind of in flux right now, depending on some of the post standards that are going to come out in July, anywhere from July through September. So some subjects may have to get extended.
Right.
Some may
But
be
I'm just saying,
eliminated.
under normal circumstances, they're going 22 to 26
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
That's pretty extensive. They're going all day. It's pretty It's pretty extensive in terms of training. That's a lot in 22 weeks.
It is. It's a lot to take in.
Yep.
It's police work is becoming another licensed profession. Right. So essentially, through that post, you're going to have a license. Right. And there's a lot of professions that require licenses. Sure. Skilled trade, things like that. They require much more hours actually than police do for academy training, which is kind of scary actually. So, if you want to be a plumber and electrician, the hours are 10 times what they are to become a police officer. Right. If you want to become a barber, the hours are more than double what they are to become a police officer right now. So by adding in this extra training, I really think it is something that is adequate. Probably should have been done a long time ago.
Sure. Yep. But there's a lot of training that goes into it. And I remember being at the academy said, as long as you follow our training and you do it accordingly, we're always going to be there to back you up. It's when you don't, right? It's when people don't follow their training, they don't follow the policies, and that's when they get the city, themselves, the police department, and the city in trouble.
It's a lot in a very short period of time. Probably the best analogy I heard was it's like trying to drink out of a fire hose.
Yeah. It's next to impossible.
Yeah.
So what are the big changes here? I mean, obviously, policies and procedures.
Yep.
Training. Right now, we're running training right now, and we're not wasting. We have to be certified by July or June?
July 1st.
July 1st. So the end of June, we got to be certified.
It's going to be a busy
You have to
couple months.
retrain the whole police department.
Yes.
Yeah. So essentially, around this time of year, we typically look to conduct about 32 to 40 hours of in-service training. Of course, there's some training that takes place in the other half of the year, but due to some of the additions, we're probably looking before July 1st to get around 56 hours of training, which is a monumental task in itself. The problem is that, we're not just facing the changes of police reform itself, but it's some of the unknowns that are associated with it, such as accreditation. So there's parts of the reform bill that speak about accreditation and how they are going to establish standards that we have to meet by July 1st in certain areas. They just don't tell us what they're going to be. Right. So essentially, sometime just before July 1st, they could say, okay, next month you have to have all this in place. Well, a lot of those things take a lot longer than a month to put in place.
If you're going to do them right.
Yes,
correct.
Right.
And not just do them for the sake of doing them.
Correct. And then we also had the presidential executive order on safe policing for safer communities back in June. And that spoke about always moving towards accreditation from a certified body in Massachusetts, which the Attorney General labeled as the Massachusetts Police Accreditation Commission for us. So that is the accrediting agency here in Mass, and their policies and standards for achieving certification or accreditation are very strict and very lengthy.
Which means, we've, and I said this, we were talking about, chief and captains, and in the interviews when we were doing acting chief, one of the things that came out of it is I said to the HR director, I said, what's amazing? every single one of these, everybody that was applying for this, the acting job, could go anywhere for any police department. They've all done everything. That's a good thing. I have friends that are in much larger departments, you both do as well, and they're in traffic or they're in records for 15, 20
Yes.
years.
Yeah.
Here, you get a chance to do everything, but at the same time, accreditation or meeting some of these standards means more positions and it means more funding from somewhere.
It does,
so in a lot of cases under accreditation, one person has to be in charge. One person in charge of evidence.
Yes.
Well, we got somebody in charge of evidence, they're also in charge of this, also in charge of that, also in charge of this.
Yeah.
And so there's an expense and a cost to this.
Yes.
And I don't know that anybody took that in consideration. And it's one thing to say, hey, listen, we realize that, certain size departments, we're not small, we're what's considered medium-sized across the country. We're medium-sized police departments.
Yes.
And, but think of some of the other departments that don't have any resources at all, are going to have to meet these standards. Yeah. And it's going to be, it's going to be very expensive for them to do that. So hopefully, the federal government and the state, who pushes these things down on us, is going to say they need financial assistance. If this is that important to us, we've got to take some of the money that taxpayers send to Boston and send that back to the communities where they need they need the help.
Definitely be a good idea.
If you have any questions at all, both the chief and the lieutenant are here. They'll be glad to answer it for you. 978-534-1626 is the phone number. Officers have to be trained in first responder, CPR, mace, carrying. You can't carry a taser unless you're trained. Firearms training. There's just so much training that goes along with it. Really, you're almost in training 12 months a year.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Definitely,
absolutely.
That's definitely how it's going to come
Right?
down
I mean,
to.
that's really what it's going to come down to.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I think, at least my opinion, in New England, you get a much, and when you compare it to other parts of the country, you get a more progressive kind of police officer. And that's been that way for a long time, which is why in the South or the Midwest, they love hiring police officers from the North.
Yes.
Because they're better trained, they have a much better understanding of how things work. But yeah, this is, I was reading through some of this and I'm like, wow, this is, and then there is some, there's an overall board now that has powers that is represented. And the interesting thing is you can't be a police officer or a former police officer to be on this board. Well, where's the person that says, hey, wait a minute, you got to understand what it's like to be in that particular, I understand what was going on there, kind of like a review board. I understand what's going on there to be able to explain to people. It's pretty scary when you get a call. You're the first one there, you're the only one there. You're going to a house, pitch dark, or you're walking around the back of a building, or you stop a car late at night, people are moving around the building. Yeah, maybe you're waiting for your backup. It gets pretty scary out there.
Yeah,
it does.
And you see start people moving around. And there's every police officer will have 100 stories about situations that were pretty scary.
Absolutely.
And there's nobody on that board to say, hey, this is what this situation was like. I've been there. I understand it. And I'm going to apply, and they're not going to turn me down, but I'm going to apply anyway. And they really do need somebody on that board to be able to do that. Now, let's get to that part. Parents stop me all the time. My kid just got his license. He got stopped by the cops a couple weeks ago. And I wasn't sure what to do. And so Johnny Jr.'s driving down Mass Ave in Lunenburg. Johnny gets pulled over, his lights out. I don't know, Johnny, whatever, right? Johnny forgot to renew his inspection sticker. Maybe the officer just saw him, weave around something, pulls him over. What should the average person be doing when they get pulled over, especially at night?
Great idea is pull over to the side of the road, find the nearest safe place you can to stop.
Right.
And then once you are stopped,
don't stop in the middle of a construction site or anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Don't pull off the road behind a building or anything like that. Stop, put the car in park, take your foot off the brake, because if the officer hasn't seen that car's in park and they sit there and they see you with the brake on, then they have to start thinking to themselves, are they stopping?
Me out of here?
Yeah, because that's it happens.
They might not have put it in park.
Yeah,
brake lights are on. They might have it in reverse.
Yeah.
It might be coming to me in about 2 seconds.
So put the car in park, take your foot off the brake, turn the dome light on inside the car. roll the window down as much as necessary, and just keep your hands on the wheel until the officer gets there.
Be polite, be polite.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
That's all. Be respectful.
You can really do yourself justice. Just be nice. Just be calm. Be nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Officer, everybody's nervous. It's something wrong here. Did I do something wrong or whatever?
Yeah.
Yep. No, just sit tight.
Yeah.
A lot of times we just want to just educate them what they did and send them on their way.
Right.
Yeah.
Verbal warning.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you know what you did? No, I didn't. Well, you took a right on red and the sign says no.
Yep.
Did you know that? No, I didn't. Okay, pay me attention. What's going on and that kind. Right? I mean, that's simple stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Rather than getting aggressive, like immediately already, you're in this situation where, whoa, what's going on here? Like, all he did is stop the person and she shut the car off, put the keys on the dashboard. No. Not necessarily.
They can go that far if they want to, but
I was thinking, is that too much? Is it too much hand movement?
Yeah, that's another. So
everybody's different.
If you get pulled over and you don't get pulled over that much, a lot of people, they need to find their registration.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
License,
Digging
no
through
Just-
air fresheners and pens,
That's it. So-
tweezers, and
Just wait for the
half-open candy bars.
Yeah, exactly. Just wait for the police officer to get up there, and then just say, "Is it? My registration is in my glove compartment." No
Then go
problem.
for it.
No problem. You don't have to have it there, like waiting for us when you're pulled over. That's just another cue that officer will see, because if they stop that car and you start diving all over the place, they can't see in that car.
Right.
You know what I mean?
People's windows are tinted.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes too much.
Oh, yeah.
That's another subject. But if one of the smart things to do is just get your registration ready and put it somewhere where you can actually get it, so that you don't have to start reaching under seats and maybe it's in the bed. Oh no, I don't know if they, and this goes on for a while. All of a sudden, all this stuff's going on. The glove compartment.
We've seen it all.
Get it ready. Just get it ready. Yeah, we've seen it. Just get it ready and have it somewhere where you can reach for it, right, when it's time, and it'll take 90% of the stress away.
Yeah.
Anything else anybody should do? I mean, I remember we got pulled over, I don't know, a couple years ago, and apparently they never sent the decap. Remember, they weren't sending the registration renewals and stuff, and the officer let us re-register the car right there, right on Nashua Street.
Yep.
It was over in like 10 seconds. I'm like, wow, that was pretty cool.
We do that a lot, more and more. I mean, every day. I think they did one for the guy's license was unlicensed today, and they did it right on the side of the road.
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Just, just punch this in and get on the DMV website and hit this, hit that, and that's it. We're registered.
Not everything needs to end in a citation in some way, shape, or form.
No, and
that's solving the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always say, there are departments that have quotas, and people always hear about that. We've never had a quota.
No, never.
And it's always been to the discretion of the officer,
right.
whether they give a verbal, a written warning, a verbal warning, or a citation. And it's always been the discretion.
Yep.
No one ever pushes it on anybody to say, hey, you have to do this. We don't want your money. We want you to drive slow. We drive slow. We don't get accidents. We don't get complaints. We don't, right? I mean, that's, and complaints have dropped drastically. And I think that's a tribute to the traffic department and the officers doing
a great
more
job.
enforcement. And again, that might just be, hey, can you slow it down a little? You're kind of moving a little bit too quick here. Did you know your light was out? Little things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it really has helped. Well, it's we have a new police station that we're working on. We have a great committee.
Yep.
Everybody brings something to the table. We've got some people in the construction business, obviously police officers, civilian employees, the administrative assistant at the chief's office, people in construction, finance, pretty much everything.
Can't be that far away.
Good crew, good.
We've got another meeting next week, I believe, all of us.
Yep, and well thought out, and good location. I know we spend a lot of time trying to keep it close to downtown. Yep. It just hurts me to see police departments being built, because for some reason we have a lot of walk-in. For whatever reason. Do you have this farm directions? Like even with Waze and Google Maps and all, people still, it's like something about the downtown police department. People come in all the time. All the time. And so we wanted to stay close to downtown, but wanted the building that meets the needs of another 63 years, right? We got our money's worth out of that. And just think, before you guys were there, the court was upstairs.
Oh yeah, it was.
And so we only had like downstairs.
Yeah, I worked there maybe a year finally when it went across the street.
And you just walk around and like, how is this possible? Yeah, we had the court upstairs, and well, we didn't have to go far for the court.
No,
Right? Just walk upstairs.
strange
right?
times.
Yeah.
But it all works
Anything
out.
else that we forgot? I mean, I know that this is pretty extensive.
It's a lot. I mean,
Yeah, I
you
think
could have a couple shows on it.
Yeah, I think the good thing in Massachusetts is we were kind of ahead of the game.
Right.
So
They're always training. Every
Yeah.
time I see
Yeah.
you or someone, it's
Yeah.
some training's going on pre all of this,
Yeah.
police reform.
And we brought a lot of regional training for police officers into Leominster in the past few years,
Right,
which
right.
you've been a huge part of, and that's a huge plus for our community.
It is.
And as some of these new trainings come out, especially Jim down in emergency management and the great training room that he has
Yeah,
down
that's
there.
awesome down there.
Yeah, we've still been utilizing that and doing
Yeah.
more regional trainings and.
He did training in the schools
Yes. Yep.
all the time. The
Yeah.
training's going on in the schools.
Yeah, absolutely. And other communities are starting to look at what's coming here now. So that's a big plus for us.
Especially we had the COVID scare with the academy. We had to basically team up with the police departments to
Yep.
finish the parts they cut short in the academy. So, was it Groton helped us out with
Yes.
firearms because they have
Yep.
a nice range and they took care of that whole part. And then we brought back down to 210. Used the parking lot for the applied patrol procedures.
Yes.
And we did a lot of parts. We covered it for a couple extra weeks that they didn't get to cover, and we used the other departments. We all worked together.
Yeah, well, that's one good thing about this area is we have the North Worcester County
Yes.
Drug Task Force.
Yep.
You've got what is the motorcycle
Yep.
group called NIM?
Semlec.
Semlec.
Yes.
And that's a tight organization. We work really well with other departments. No turf issues, state
No.
police, DEA, anybody that comes into town,
Got a good
and it
rapport.
works well.
Yeah.
It works really well.
And now we know that a lot of this extra training that we're going to have, we can draw it here, which will actually help us save some costs in that
A lot
area.
of free spots.
Yeah. It'll cut down the cost of actually having to hire instructors and those sorts of
Yeah,
things.
we just did
Yeah.
we just did a bunch of them down at OEM where we get some of our supervisors, especially with some of the issues we face in the city, we were able to get some free spots for our guys, especially some of the admin staff. And it's very important training to get.
Yeah.
And obviously, we'd like to expand it, in the coming months to get more supervisors to this training.
Yeah.
And can only benefit from it as it keeps going forward using what we have.
But as much as you say plumbers and all people in licensing, there are very few professions that on almost every call, there are cameras running constantly.
Everywhere.
I mean, there are some calls I see you on, and in different offices, there's like 12 or 13. Let me use one as an example. A young lady sent me a video. I think I
Yeah, you
told
talked to me about it.
It was in front of Marshall's, and it involved a possible. I don't know if it was a felony stop, but it had to be treated like one because there was some other intelligence that kind of led to the fact that this might be a felony stop, which is be very careful, take your time, no drastic moves, make sure you protect anybody else that might be in the area, protect yourself, move slow. And she says, I got to admit to you, had my phone out because I was kind of thinking, what's going to happen here? And she'd already had and she goes, but I got to admit, I watched those police officers and they handled the whole situation flawlessly. And that's the thing today is there are cameras all over.
Everywhere.
And different angles, different views, people see different things. Sometimes we get copies of videos, but we only see half of it. It's like, hey, where's the rest of it? You know?
Right. Yeah.
And then somebody else has another piece of it. But it is the only profession where you show up to work or you show up to a call and there are just cameras all over the
They're
place.
everywhere.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, they're just on. They're all over. I've seen in some neighborhoods, everybody's on the balcony or on their porch or whatever, people downstairs in their cars, and everybody's got cameras going.
Yeah.
Right? It's the only profession I can think of.
Yeah,
Right.
it's definitely changed the last couple of years. Is everywhere you go, there's cameras.
A couple years from now, they'll be on us.
Right.
I know,
Well, that's
yeah,
the thing is someday.
Yep.
And years ago in working with labor management stuff, and I always say, how many cameras, when you get to a call, are there for you so that, people can see from your vantage point what's going on. And
Yeah.
I think police officers are always a little bit worried about it, just.
Another thing in the police reform is that the body cameras are going to be, looks like to be mandated in a
Mandatory
couple
at
of
some point,
years.
of course, that's expensive.
That is
Communities
very
are
very
struggling
expensive.
with that. I don't think it's the fact that police officers don't want to have them. It's a very expensive.
Very expensive.
To,
Just the
to
storage.
implement. Again,
Yeah.
you need one person just to storage, just to oversee the equipment, to make sure it's okay, it's calibrated, it's working properly, people are trained on it,
Yeah.
all of that. So we have much more
And
to talk about.
It's hours. It's person hours from a shift. I mean,
Yeah.
just all those things that you have to do, all the extra forms and everything. Just it makes every single call take longer,
Yeah.
which reduces the
Even
amount of
issuing a
people.
citation is going to take longer now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Which means somebody's going to be tied up longer, which means if there's another call, you've got to pull from another neighborhood to send to another call, and then they're going to be tied up a little bit longer.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there's a lot more of that. And as I said, we're not anti-police reform at all, none of us.
Nope.
And but we're for the logical part of it all, which is the implementation of it all, and the cost that we had never anticipated. Hang on a second. We'll take well, let's just go right to we don't have much time, so let's go right to the, we don't have the updated numbers yet, Wendy, right? We'll get that at 5 tonight, but 2,186 people tested positive yesterday for COVID, and there were 92,000 tests, 53 deaths, one is too many, 224 cases in Worcester County, and we were down from 615 to 611. Hopefully we'll see that number go down. Do you have new numbers?
New numbers.
You kidding me? We're down below 600. Look at that, huh? That's good news. We were at 800 a week and a half
Yeah.
ago. We're down to 591, so we're down 20 today. Now, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, but this is promising. I feel optimistic finally that, that the vaccine has gotten to people in the healthcare, in nursing homes, and assisted living. It's gotten to that point. We're getting to the 75-year-olds, the 65 and older with 2 or more comorbidities. Like finally, and they're saying only 2% of the population's been vaccinated. Yeah. You got to get to 75 or 85% to have, to reach that point. So anyway, that's good news. I'll leave it at that. Plenty of testing sites, and hopefully by tomorrow we'll have some information about additional sites where you can get your vaccine. And we're working with MassCon on that. Let's do some pictures of the week. Let's see, glass time. There's your testing sites. UMass Health Alliance, Reliant, Mall at Whitney Field. Again, every single one of these, even for a test, you need to either get on the website or call them. CVS Electric Ave in Lunenburg, in Carewell, John Fitch Highway. Federal government is saying that they're going to start direct impacting. You see, next another week or so, you should really see the amount of vaccines that arrive in places like Walgreens and CVS's. So we really should begin to see that take effect. Governor Baker is saying that 654,000 residents have already been vaccinated, and about 120 new appointments have already been scheduled. There are 125 vaccine sites in Massachusetts with another 40 expected online. I just got an email here, a text while we're on here about another site coming up. Lifting of regulations, they're lifting the 25% capacity at gyms and offices and places of worship. Driving ranges, and I don't know, how do you do that at a flight school? Like, yeah, we can take another half a person. Limit of 5 people per 1,000 square feet, smaller businesses with available fire occupancy. So they're starting to lift restrictions, that's good. Here's the vaccine sites, Gardner at Walgreens, UMass Memorial Health Alliance in Leominster, the Leominster Hannaford on Lancaster Street, 118 Lancaster, and Gardner Medical Arts. You go to that portal, mass.gov/COVID vaccine, and that's where you can register. Now, if you don't have a computer, you're watching this show, and technology isn't in abundance at your home, and you don't understand it, there's nobody to help you, call us in the morning, 978-534-7500, and you'll hear the prompt come up and say if you're calling about the vaccine, press 5, and we'll help you through it, even if we have to get your name and information and fill it out in our computers if necessary. So there we are. Hey, Restaurant Week is coming up 21st to the 27th. People had a ball at that coffee crawl run. People had a good time.
18 cups of coffee.
18 cups. I've never had 18 cups in my whole life. February 21st to the 27th is Restaurant Week. More to come. Pizza crawls 21st to the 27th. Pictures of the week, please. There we are. We're down at our sliding party. We had lots of fun. These kids, I'll tell you, they are amazing. They go flying down, come back huffing and puffing, jump on that sled, go flying down again. And so I'm talking to some of the kids, and I'm like, when did you get here? And they're like, 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's like 8 o'clock at night, they're still at it. I know they slept well. Parents said so. 18 inches of snow, 18 plus inches of snow. DPW did a great job. The police department was out there trying to let everybody know, get your car. We don't want to tow your car. We don't want to ticket you. Please get your car out of there. Some people we can't reach, so we end up having to tow or ticket. Or we don't want to. I can't stress that enough. We don't want your money. Donate it somewhere else. 18 inches of snow, there they are. Now they're beginning to clean the parking lots and remove snow. This weekend they'll work on downtown, get rid of the snow there. Flamingos in the window, happy to be on the inside, nice and warm they are. Yes, early spring, says Featherstone. Look at those, look at all my boots. What do you think of my boots? Aren't they sporty? There's the flamingo in the background. Featherstone Flamingo says, hey, it might not be 2 weeks, but don't sweat it. There's Maria, Tommy, Sean, Featherstones, there for the Featherstone event. They're ever colorful. There we are. This is a ritual for us and the Geoffrins, so thank you for them for continuing. Rocky's on ice. Take a guess when he might fall in, which should be around June. LeoVets.org. There's a new police station. There it is. I love it. We kind of, at the beginning, I'm like, yeah, a little bit too much aluminum. Can we add a little bit brick? And beautiful. Looks great. And signing of the $2.4 million MassWorks contract, which will do infrastructure work down around the mall. Diaper drive. We brought more diapers in than could ever expected, and filling up that Catholic Charities diaper pantry. Thank you to everybody. And that's it, kids. Thank you both for coming on. Thank you for everything you do. Be safe out there.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
We got a great police department. I think this has been the best group we've had overall. I mean, we've got a lot of new people, but it just feels good, right?
Yeah, department.
And yeah, it's a good place to be. And you come from a whole line of many other good police officers out there who we still tell stories about. Okay, we're out of time here at Inside Leominster. I want to thank the entire crew. Carl's the Chief Executive Officer here, and we've got Ron here, and Wayne, and Wendy's here tonight, and who else is back there? Keith and Bradley, right? And Alan Redstone made a brief appearance. Thank you. Thank you to the whole crew here at Inside Leominster. Thank you. Good night. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. You got to show up. Good night.